How we doing, folks?
Great.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
You are the namesake of this show. You named it, remember?
It's been a long
Go
time. How
ahead,
many years
guys.
has it
You can
been?
go ahead and start.
Okay, 12 years. Okay. Okay. Good morning and welcome to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. I'm your pharmacist, Paul White. We're glad you joined us. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Studio Arts and Glass, Genuine Appraisals and Liquidations. Today, Brad and I are broadcasting from the administrative offices, and our guest is Colleen Porter, Community Material Donations Manager at Goodwill Industries. Good morning, Colleen, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are both of you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Now, do you unload trucks too and all that kind of stuff, or?
I have unloaded my share of trucks.
Okay.
We all help in wherever we're needed. So
Okay.
yeah.
I feel sorry for this guy out on Easton that sits in that trailer all day long, and I mean, this cold weather. But I think he has a heater in there. I'm not sure.
Yep. So they have. Gosh, he has been at that donation site for 20 years, I think.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. Oh,
He
geez.
absolutely loves that area. Yeah.
What a hoot.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Brad.
Alrighty, here we go. So donations and shopping are the basis for Goodwill's cycle of success. These simple things that are beneficial to you are also good for your community and your environment. Every day, Goodwill donor attendants stand by waiting for your items to come through the door, and when they do, donation processors carefully hang each garment and place each houseware item in the Goodwill store. When those items are purchased by shoppers looking for a great deal in the community gets a great deal more. This is because your donations and purchases help Goodwill provide the funding needed to offer a wide variety of services to those in need, including pre-employment services, job placement, family services, and community outreach. In addition, Goodwill helps keep a large number of items out of landfills each year. Every day, Goodwill donor attendants stand by waiting to start the cycle of success over again. But it all starts with your donation. We'd like to remind our listeners today that the program is available on our podcast, so just look for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy and please subscribe.
Okay. Colleen, welcome to the show. For those of you who do not know Colleen, she used to work for us years ago, and she actually coined the name Health Matters. So that was like 12 years ago. So how interesting that we're still on the air, and Colleen's back. So anyway, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Goodwill beside unloading trucks.
So I live in Jackson Township with my husband Todd and our 7-month-old Bernedoodle named Hazel.
I thought you were going to say a 7-month-old child.
Oh,
Wait a
gosh,
minute.
no. Those days are over.
Okay.
So I work in the marketing department of Goodwill as the community material donations manager. So I like to tell people that my job is to get stuff. And by stuff, I mean things like clothing, shoes, accessories, electronics, computers, housewares. So those tangible things that people are always saying that my house is so cluttered, I have to clear it out. Those are the things that it's my job to attain for Goodwill.
Yeah, I hear people talking about the one on Whipple, which is that your largest store or?
It's not. So you're probably talking about our outlet?
No, yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that's our only outlet that we have. We used to have one up in Cleveland, but we just have the one outlet now. And no, it's actually not our largest store. We have.
What does that mean, outlet? I mean, do you send different stuff there than the others, or?
So, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit, but basically anything that doesn't sell in the stores after a 4-week cycle will go to the outlet where people can purchase it basically for pennies on the dollar.
Okay. So what are some of the ways you get these material donations to start the cycle of success?
So there's a variety of different ways that I go about that. I work with a lot of companies to hold donation drives. We do community donation drives. I'm actually working on one that will take place later on this late spring, early summer over at Stark State. We work with different organizations and churches to pick up unsold items, maybe after a community neighborhood sale. I know, Brad, we've worked with your neighborhood sale in the past, and we'll come by and pick up any of those unsold items. I also work with a lot of campuses. So at the end of the year, we will go over to the campuses and we'll put bins out in their dorms. So as students are moving out, so many times they'll throw away, refrigerators or clothing that they don't want anymore, decorations. So we kind of go in there and we give them an opportunity to give those items to Goodwill, which then keeps those items out of the landfill. So we work with Mount Union and Malone and Walsh. And then up in the north, we work with John Carroll for those campus move outs. We work with area schools in a program that we call Drive to Victory. That one is a lot of fun. There's a lot of competition during football season. And what we do there is we will park a trailer at competing schools, for instance, Glen Oak and Jackson. So the week prior to their leading up to their football game that week, we'll have a trailer at each one of the high schools. The community then can bring their donations, drop them off at the trailer, and then on that Friday, we'll take those trailers and we'll weigh them. And then whichever trailer is the heaviest, that school district will get a scholarship from Goodwill. So Glen Oak actually they really stepped up this year and donated about 12,000 pounds of donations or items. And they got a $750 scholarship from Goodwill. So that was a lot of fun. And then another event that we do is called Good Turn Day. And that's the one where we work with Girl Scout troops all over the state of Ohio. And they collect bags or boxes of donations and they bring them in to any of our donation centers. And in turn, we give them a patch that we've designed. So we always do that in the spring and in the fall. And it's just a really fun day for the scouts, something unique for them to do. And it teaches them the importance of recycling items and keeping those items out of the landfill.
How long has Goodwill been around, and are they national?
Yes. So Goodwill, believe it or not, was actually started by a Methodist minister in Boston about 115 years ago.
Was that the name that he used in the beginning?
It was, yeah. So his name was Reverend Edgar J. Helms, and he started off by collecting clothes and furniture from wealthier neighborhoods, and then he gave it to people in need. But what he was realizing was it wasn't solving the issues that were being faced. So instead, he decided to change his focus to instead of being a handout company, he wanted it to be a hand up, not a handout. So he continued to collect the clothes and the furniture, but now he employed these poor people to mend and fix the items so that they could be sold. And then those funds then provided wages for those people in need. So locally, Goodwill started about 100 years ago up in Cleveland. But of course, it was started right in the middle of the Spanish flu.
Great.
Good timing.
Yeah.
But in those days, Goodwill was started as a furniture repair program. There was a sewing room. opportunities for Goodwill participants to work as janitors or employees in the stores. There, in about 2005, the Cleveland and the Canton Goodwills merged. So our territory is up in the Cleveland area. We're down here in Canton. We skip over that Summit County area, and then we also go down in the south.
I'd say we're pretty close to a break. Is that about right, Brad?
Yep.
And you know about these breaks, Colleen.
I
so
do.
we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for a change? Transfer your prescriptions to the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Hi, this is Paul White from the Medicine Center Pharmacies. Are you looking for the personal touch from your pharmacist and pharmacy staff? Do you need home delivery or custom packaging to simplify a complex medication schedule? Look no further than the Medicine Center Pharmacies in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia. Bring in your prescription bottles, and we can transfer your prescriptions to the Medicine Center today, where wellness begins. Hi, Paul White from the Medicine Center Pharmacy. In these difficult days, please stay calm and make sure your medical and healthcare supplies are well stocked. Make sure you have Kleenex, acetaminophen or Tylenol, ibuprofen or Advil, Mucinex, Robitussin or Dayquil, cough drops, maybe even a humidifier or a vaporizer. You can also just turn the shower on hot and sit in the bathroom breathing in the steam. How about vitamin D and a probiotic? So take care of yourselves and don't stress about the coronavirus. Make sure you get plenty of rest and plenty of healthy food. The Medicine Center Pharmacy, Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia.
Hi, this is Brad White from Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
And I'm your pharmacist, Paul White, for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. During our past shows, we've discussed heart disease, nutrition, diabetes, estate law, allergies, blood pressure, and several other topics with area experts to educate and help you live a healthy life.
Join us this Friday at 9 a.m. for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy, right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC, or listen to our podcast on WHBC.com, because your health matters.
Spring has sprung at Studio Arts and Glass. The hummingbirds will return, and Studio Arts and Glass has the feeders. Wind chimes, felt birdhouses, and garden art all make great gifts. Are you going to the beach? Then you need sea glass. Sterling silver and sea glass necklaces, earrings, and bracelets. Studio Arts and Glass open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 on Apple Grove and 77 in North Canton. StudioArtsandGlass.com.
We'd like to remind our listeners our program is also available on our podcast. You can search your favorite podcast app for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Listen to our program anytime.
Hi, Paul White from the Medicine Center Pharmacy. If you haven't gotten your COVID vaccine shot yet, you've got to get to the Medicine Center Pharmacies in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, or New Philadelphia. We are waiting for you and have vaccine. Call or stop in your closest Medicine Center Pharmacy, and we'll take care of you. Getting a COVID vaccine will save you from getting very sick. So hurry and get on with protecting yourself. The Medicine Center Pharmacies in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia.
Welcome back.
Okay, welcome back to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Flu vaccine along with Moderna and Janssen COVID vaccine are available. Stop by any of our stores to get vaccinated. No appointment is necessary. So, Colleen, how many Goodwill locations are there?
Well, we currently have 21 retail stores that span 10 counties, including Cuyahoga, Geauga, part of Lake, all of Stark, Tuscarawas, Carroll, Jefferson, and Harrison in Ohio, Brooke and Hancock in West Virginia. And then in addition to all of the retail stores which have a donation center in them, we operate 7 attended donation centers throughout Stark County and Cleveland. So the attended donation centers are like you mentioned before, the trailers that you might see like on Easton or on Hills and Dales by the Acme Shopping Center. We also have standalone donation centers. So up in Uniontown, there's one right at the corner of 619 and Cleveland Avenue. We also have a few of those up in the Cleveland area as well. And then last week, we opened up our first Goodwill used bookstore and donation center in Westlake, which is right in the Crocker Park area. And I went there for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and it is a beautiful, beautiful bookstore. So if you are a reader, I would definitely recommend getting up there. There's tons of books, records, DVDs, all types of things.
Why not a bookstore down here?
Well, we're looking into that. So we had the opportunity to open one up there. We wanted to see how it would be received, and so far it's doing very, very well. So we do have a team that is constantly looking for places to open up either new stores or donation centers. And now definitely we're looking down here to look into the possibility of opening up a bookstore as well.
There's a book donation bin. I think that's on Whipple. Is that yours or is that somebody else?
That would be someone else. Sometimes you're going to see some of those yellow freestanding bins throughout the area. Those are not ours. We do not have any freestanding bins like those. So anytime you would want to make a donation, you would go to one of the donation trailers or to one of the donation centers within one of our stores.
So while we're kicking this around, what do you take? I mean, what don't you take? That sort of thing. I mean, I know people drop stuff off and just run. And so you never know, if it's any good or not. So
Sure. So, donations are really the lifeblood of our organization. They help us. They provide our vital services to thousands and thousands of people every year. Last year, we helped more than 14,000 individuals throughout we actually have 28 outreach services that we provide to people. So your donations are helping to help others. So things that we take, absolutely clothing. We're actually in urgent need right now of houseware items. So that can be anything from pots and pans, your decorations, your anything within your house. But that doesn't mean that we don't want your clothing, because we absolutely do. Things that we don't take, we actually have a donor guide that you can find on our website. You can also ask for one at any one of our donation centers. So there's not a lot that we don't take, but we don't take prescriptions. We don't take paint, mattresses, a lot of baby items such as cribs, pack and plays, things like that. We can't take because there's so many times there are safety recalls on those, and we can't keep up with those. And it's just something that we don't do. A lot of times people will bring us their carriers or their, oh my gosh, their seats that, Brad, help me out.
Car seat.
The car seats. Car seats. So we can't take those either. And boy, do I hate turning down a donation, but it's for the safety of others that we have to turn those down.
Okay, so I've heard over the years about the oddest thing that you might have been donated to. I've also heard over the years about some very, very expensive items that were donated to the Goodwill. Talk about that.
Well, gosh, so I have, just like any other organization or company across America, we are short-staffed. So sometimes we have to chip in, and work a donor door. And I actually love doing that. It's fun. I love every donation has a story behind it. And so many times people love to tell that story. We're the last, sometimes those items are coming from, Aunt Sally who passed away, and you're having to clean out her home. And that person is entrusting us with those valuable keepsakes. So we treat each donation as if it was our own. So, like I said, I love to hear those stories. And sometimes people will donate things that are of, they're of value, not only sentimental, but of monetary value. Right now, some of the things that people donate that are of value are the Pyrex dishes, the bowls. So we'll get those. We have a site that's called Shop Goodwill, and it is sort of like an eBay, but go to Shop Goodwill, and all of the Goodwills across the country will list things on there, and you can bid on the items. So things like those Pyrex dishes, or you'll find things like that there. Sometimes it's, high-end designer purses you might find on Shop Goodwill.
I heard not too long ago that Goodwill got a donation of some extremely valuable item, and I can't remember what it was. Is that in your head? I mean, can you?
Boy,
Like $100,000?
I don't know. I would have to. I don't know are you talking about our Goodwill or one
Yeah,
across the country?
well, not yours locally, but sort of nationally. I guess this was somewhere. I don't know where it was.
Sometimes people will accidentally leave money in
The clothing.
pants pockets, or things like that. I've heard multiple stories, and that happens to us as well. Yeah, we see all types of items, and so
Do you buy merchandise?
I'm sorry.
Like from a wholesaler, do you buy merchandise, like a whole truckload of merchandise?
We can, and we do. We will buy. In the past, we have had contracts with different retailers who will sell us their end of season items. So yes, we will buy things like that. And sometimes there are some Goodwills across the country who may not have storage, or or they just have a lot. And we will work with those Goodwills too to take their donations, and we can sell them in our area as well. So all of the Goodwills, a very good relationship, and we work together.
So, okay, we're coming out of winter. We're going into spring. We're going into summer. What do you do with all the winter clothes? Do you just leave them out in the stores, or?
So what happens with those items is, when donations are put out onto the floor, they've been priced. They have a 4-week cycle. So once they have been marked down in our store and they haven't sold within those 4 weeks, they are then taken off the floor and they're sent to our outlet. That's the one on Whipple that we were talking about earlier, and people can purchase those. The pricing is different. So again, you're able to purchase items at our outlet for basically pennies on the dollar. If something doesn't sell at the outlet, we do work with other companies who will purchase those items, because we do everything that we possibly can to keep items out of the landfills.
And if you do the landfill, what all do you put in the landfill? Anything and everything?
Well, again, we really don't send much of anything to a landfill, because we do work with other companies who will take those items. For instance, sometimes people will donate a bunch of shoes, And as you're pairing them up, you'll realize there's a couple in there that there's only one shoe.
You mean they don't want to wear two different shoes?
I am just wondering if we need to get rid of all these shoes out of the closet, and, Goodwill will figure that out. But the great thing about that is that we have a third-party vendor who will take those. Those shoes will go overseas, and these other companies can make things. They can take the leather, they can take the canvas, and they can make other things out of these shoes.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. All right. You know about this too. It's the bottom of the hour. Time for the news. You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, don't forget Spring Forward tomorrow night before you go to bed, or at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. We lose an hour of sleep, but it's just another sign spring is right around the corner. Governor Mike DeWine declining to participate in a primary debate against other Republican gubernatorial candidates. His office later issued a statement saying the governor is one of the most accessible ever, and he meets with constituents on a daily basis. They know where he stands. The debate is set for Tuesday, March 29th. The Transportation Security Administration announcing that mask mandates for planes and public transportation will remain in effect until April 18th. It had been set to expire next Friday. Congress has finally delivered on a bill that could help the U.S. Postal Service. The passing of Postal Service Reform Act requires retired employees to enroll in Medicare as soon as they become eligible, to drop the agency's requirement to cover health care costs of employees years in advance. The act will help save the U.S. Postal Service about $50 billion over the next decade. Well, the Cleveland Guardians will open up the 2022 season on April 8th on the road for a 4-game series against Kansas City. Now that baseball and its players have reached a new agreement, spring training actually starts today. For News Talk 1480 WHBC, I'm Pam Cook.
Hi, Paul White from the Medicine Center Pharmacy. In these difficult days, please stay calm and make sure your medical and healthcare supplies are well stocked. Make sure you have Kleenex, acetaminophen or Tylenol, ibuprofen or Advil, Mucinex, Robitussin or Dayquil, cough drops, maybe even a humidifier or a vaporizer. You can also just turn the shower on hot and sit in the bathroom breathing in the steam. How about vitamin D and a probiotic? So take care of yourselves and don't stress about the coronavirus. Make sure you get plenty of rest and plenty of healthy food. The Medicine Center Pharmacy, Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia. Saving money is awesome. Saving money on items you actually use? Fantastic. Hi, Paul White for the Half Off on Out By store in Louisville. If you think you'll find the same low prices, huge variety, or great customer service at any other store, you'd be wrong. Stop into our store in Louisville and see what great deals we have. Follow us on our Facebook page at Half Off Store to see super specials. Why pay full price? Come in and experience the Half Off and Out By store in Louisville, next to the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
Spring has sprung at Studio Arts and Glass. The hummingbirds will return, and Studio Arts and Glass has the feeders. Wind chimes, felt birdhouses, and garden art all make great gifts. Are you going to the beach? Then you need sea glass. Sterling silver and sea glass necklaces, earrings, and bracelets. Studio Arts and Glass open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 on Apple Grove and 77 in North Canton. StudioArtsandGlass.com.
When you list your tag sale with Genier Estate Services, you will experience professional sorting, researching, staging, pricing, and marketing of your cherished possessions. They have a large staff hosting your sale also, and they are very efficient. Call Eric at 330-206-0974 or log on to Genior, spelled Jenior, estateservices.com for more information.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clouds and a shower or two for the afternoon. High today 53. Snow tonight 1 to 3 inches. Low dropping to 24. Snow tomorrow morning. Little or no accumulation. Otherwise clouds and cold. High 25. Variable cloudiness on Sunday. Breezy with a flurry. The high Sunday 43. Monday variable cloudiness with a high reaching 57. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
(1480) WHBC and Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacies. Now, here's your host, Paul White.
Okay, welcome back to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. And our very special guest today is Colleen Porter, Community Material Donations Manager at Goodwill Industries. Are we awake?
We're awake.
Okay. One more question.
Okay.
What do you really need right now? I mean, what would you really like to have right now?
Well, I kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, but we are in urgent need, actually, of, like I said, we'll always take clothing and accessories and shoes, but we're really in urgent need of wares. And when I say wares, I'm talking specifically about kitchenwares, small appliances, pots and pans, home decor and decorations. So any of those things, so if you go into one of our stores right now and you see that, there might not be as many on the shelves, that's why we're just really, really low on those right now. And we are just asking the community to help out, clean out those cabinets and closets. And, it's coming into spring. So maybe you want to take some of those winterish decorations down and consider giving those to Goodwill.
Okay. One little other thing, a lady that works for me used to work at Kmart, and she said that some time ago, before the stores closed in the area, that they had a shoe sale, and all the shoes were one shoe from the pair. And she said apparently people come in that have different size feet, and they'll switch around the boxes, and they end up getting one size shoe for one foot and one size shoe for the other foot. Yeah, that's how you get all those shoes.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I find it fascinating that taking those shoes and being able to repurpose them.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, what do they do with them? I mean, what do they make out of?
So it could be purses, wallets. There's a lot of different things. They'll take the soles off, and then they'll take those materials, and there's a lot of different things that can be made from them.
How creative. I'll be darned. Okay. Go ahead, Brad.
All right, Colleen, how do our donations help the community?
Boy, they really help in a lot of ways. So when your donations come into our stores, they are put out onto our floor. And like I said, they'll stay out there for about 4 weeks. And then they will go to the outlet if necessary. But from then, this kind of is where our whole cycle of success begins. So those funds that are generated from the sales of our wares and clothing and all of those funds actually fund our Goodwill programs that help people get back to work. They're used for programs that strengthen families and much more. And now more than ever, people are really looking for Goodwill to help. Also, the funds that are generated It also pays for the operation of our retail stores, like, keeping the lights on, paying for our employees, and also the operations here at the Ken Weber Community Campus, that helps support not only Goodwill, but we have multiple other nonprofits that are housed here at the campus. So we help support the other nonprofits by lowering the overhead so that they can focus on funding their own missions.
So your office is still in downtown, like off a market there.
That's correct.
South Market. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, we knew Ken Weber very well. We used to have, when he was president of Rotary, we came down there for meetings.
I never met Ken, but I have heard what a remarkable man he was. And the community campus was completely his idea. He wanted to make it a place where, people could come down, and it's kind of a one-stop shop for them, really. If they have a lot of different services down here that can help them, so that they're not having to drive all over and spend their entire day getting those services that they need.
So what's in there? There's a pharmacy in there, a charitable pharmacy. Is that correct?
There is. Yep. So there's that. We have parenting programs. There is a doctor here at our campus. There's a food bank here. So people can come to them, and they can, shop for fresh fruits and vegetables and breads, those types of things. They can get a bus pass if they need it. They can get vouchers. We have emergency vouchers here as well. So there's a lot of different services that we offer. And I love that he had that vision and made it happen.
All right, Colleen, I know you touched on it earlier in the program, but for listeners just joining us, when I clean out my closet or my basement or my garage, where can I take the items that I want to donate?
So again, we have 21 retail stores that also have a donation center attached to it. We also have 8 attended donation centers, again, which you may know better as a donation trailer or one of the standalone buildings, like in Uniontown. The majority of our stores are open and ready to take your donations Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then Sundays from 11 to 7. The attended donation centers accept donations daily from 9 to 6. And what I love about our donation centers is I can drive up, I'm greeted by a friendly employee. They help me to get items out of my vehicle if I wish. They offer me a tax receipt, and then I'm on my way. So it's a really easy process.
Now, I made a donation to your center on West Tuscarawas Street. Did I see in there washing machines and things, or did I dream that?
You dreamt that. No.
Okay. I was thinking I saw that. I know the clothing that comes in, some of it's got to be pretty grubby, and some of the other things too. So what do you do with that stuff?
Well, we ask for people to donate items that are clean. I can't even imagine what our bills would be if we had to wash everything that came in. So, so what is put out on our floor, those are items that are clean, free from flaws. If items aren't clean, if they're stained or have, rips or tears in them, store. So, we really try and put the best of the best out on our sales floor.
So some of the other charitable stores that I've been into, they got little tags hanging on the furniture that says this item has been sanitized, or do you do that to furniture?
We do. Yes, all of the furniture that comes in is it's sprayed, so it's sanitized. And that happens on in every single one of our locations. So yes.
Okay. All the furniture, only the fabric furniture, though. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
No, not the wooden stuff and yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
And I would tell you the name of the spray but I can't remember what it is.
Well, I know that this other charity that I've been in, charitable organization, they are inspected. They come in and look at these tags and make sure that some of the merchandise in that place is in fact sprayed. So,
yep.
I guess our final break is here, huh, Brad?
Yep.
You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Welcome back to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Today we're talking with Colleen Porter, Community Material Donations Manager at Goodwill Industries. So,
all right, Colleen, we're back, and we got about 10 minutes. What maybe we ought to touch on something that you're most concerned that the community knows about Goodwill that maybe we haven't talked about. Do you have something you want to share?
Sure. Gosh, there's a lot. So
I know you can talk a lot, so go ahead.
I know. I have too much to say. So one thing, and this goes back to what I do from my role here at Goodwill, is donation drives. So I would really like to stress that any organization who would like to reach out to me, I would love to be able to put together a donation drive, whether it's for your employees. You can open it up to not only your employees, but your customers as well. It's very, very easy to do. Basically, you decide what date you want to start it. And we have a variety of different types of bins that are all very professional looking. I would bring those out to the business. And, as your employees or your customers are filling up that bin, I can always come by and switch that out for an empty bin. It's a win-win situation because employees and customers are so happy that they're cleaning out their own home while at the same time they're really making a difference in someone else's life.
What about can I call and schedule a truck pickup?
I really wish I could say yes to that. But because of rising costs in
Fuel.
insurance and, like I said before, like every other business across the country, we've been hit with a lack of employees right now. So we've had to kind of suspend that. So that's not to say that we can't do the neighborhood pickups for the garage sales and churches and things like that. But we can't offer the home pickup services, the one-offs any longer. And again, those are the times that I really hate to turn someone away for that. But what we can do is if that person can get those items to our stores, our employees are more than happy to assist to get those items out of the person's vehicle for them. So that's something that I always try to stress for them. We try to make it as easy as possible.
Does the trailers, would you say you had 9 trailers out there or 7 or something like that?
We have 8 what we call attended donation centers, and it's the same thing. You can pull right up, and those employees will they'll come out to the vehicle and assist in getting those items out.
Do those trailers go to one designated area, or
when you see a trailer out, that trailer is stationary, so it's not moving until we come and pick it up. But how we get those donations out, like I said, that trailer is stationary. We bring a box truck out to it, and we move the donations from the trailer onto the box truck, and then those donations then are taken to one of our stores.
Okay, so there's no designated warehouse sorting area or anything like that?
We do have a warehouse. We have 2 warehouses, in fact. We have one up in North Canton, and then we have one up in Cleveland. And they will get donations. Actually, our North Canton warehouse has a donation center at it, so people can actually take their donations there as well. It's right off of Schufel.
We all know social media can kind of mess things up. Sometimes false information is spread. What are some of the fake news about comments that are circulating about Goodwill?
So, fake news is one of those terms that we hear so much these days. Several years ago, there was a graphic that was appearing on social media. It accuses several nonprofits of having CEOs that make millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's just simply not true. So, there's a lot of rumors that float around, and I'll just kind of skim over a few of them. One of them is that Goodwill is a for-profit company, and that's not true. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We help thousands of people every year. Again, we served over 14,000 individuals last year. All of our employees are paid at least a minimum wage, but it's above minimum wage. This is one that people I hear frequently. our employees do not get first pick of items that are donated.
Oh, they don't get the gold, eh?
They do not get the gold. No. There's actually, we have a, and we all have to sign off on it. We are not allowed to take items. We have a waiting period before employees are actually allowed to shop. So, and I'm kind of proud of that. I know that sometimes when I've worked a donor door, there have been donors that come and they say, I might make a comment, oh, that's a beautiful vase. And they're like, well, you can have it. No, I can't.
Yeah, let me put it in my purse. Hold on a second.
Right. So, and I explained that, we're not allowed to do that. We actually, it's immediate termination if any of our employees do that. So it's just not fair for us to be able to handpick what we want. So, our CEO, this is another one. Our CEO does not make millions. It's just simply, it's not true. Our CEO is Ann Richards. She is a local business person here. She's actually works right in the next office over from me. So she's located here at the community campus. And it's definitely not true. So, we hear rumors every day, just as, a lot of businesses and a lot of nonprofits here. So, what I always say to people, and I'm telling the listeners right now, if you would like to have a tour of our community campus, please reach out. We are more than happy to have anyone come through. We'll schedule a time for you to come through with you or your organization, and you can see exactly how things are done. We're very transparent.
Interesting. Go ahead, Brad.
One of the things I was surprised to learn is that you take computers. I did not know that. Can you talk about electronics and how you protect people's privacy?
Sure. So we have a program that is pretty new. It's called Wired Up, and it is a program that refurbishes and cleans computers and computer components for sale in our stores. Wired Up, it diverts electronics from area landfills, but it also helps bridge the digital divide by increasing availability to it makes it affordable technology to the community. So currently we have Wired Up micro stores in our New Philly and also our North Olmsted locations. And then we have Wired Up items at Strongsville, Eastlake, Mayfield, Paynesville, and also our Foxborough, Jackson Township locations. So what we're always looking for and what we take, we accept pretty much all items in all conditions, all brands. So, it could be laptops, desktops, modems, mice, keyboards, but then also your video games, your consoles, DVD players, CDs. It's everything. We take chargers, your cables, your ink cartridges, children's educational toys. So all of that. Then we also, we adhere to a very strict process to ensure that all data is erased from anything that's being donated. We actually adhere to, it's called the National Institute of Standards and Technology. I know that's a big a big word, but basically it prevents software-based file recovery methods from lifting information. So it's erasing everything that might be left behind.
All right.
very close to the end of the show, I think, unfortunately.
That went fast.
Yeah, that was fast, wasn't it? So, do you want people to call you? Or how do we get information a la the phone, without getting 1,000 phone calls a day? Okay.
I love phone calls. You can reach me by phone or text. My number is 330-806-8946, or you're welcome to email me. My email address is cporter@goodwillgoodskills.org.
At Goodwill what?
goodwillgoodskills.org. And I'm happy to answer any questions about, how to donate, what to donate, anything about a donation drive. And just remember that we are in urgent need of your housewares.
Okay. We'll do it.
All right.
Very nice seeing you today, Colleen.
You too.
Thank you, Colleen Porter, Community Material Donations Manager with Goodwill Industries. We'd like to remind our listeners, if you suspect you have a medical issue, please contact your healthcare provider. Thanks to our sponsors, Studio Arts and Glass, Genuine Appraisals and Liquidations, and of course, our technical producer, Billy Beebe, a new guy. As always, we thank you, our listeners, for joining us on Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.